Hi guys, this will be a quick video. I'm in my garage gym with my constant companion, Jiha, who is my 7-year-old Beagle, half Pekingese and half Beagle. I actually have 4 home gyms: a garage gym, basement gym, an extension room gym, and a backyard patio gym. But no matter what gym I go to, my buddy Jiha is with me. But today I want to do a different kind of video. The reason why I started this YouTube channel is because a year ago I had a health scare. And I made the mistake of taking the advice of others. When I retired, to take it easy, enjoy the rest of my life, because I used to work a lot. I was known for working a lot of overtime. For instance, because prisons are chronically understaffed and overcrowded, they have a hard time having adequate staffing. So if you want to work overtime, you can make a lot of money. A great deal of money. And as a matter of fact, if you check Ohio Checkbook, you can check the salaries of state employees, what they actually were paid. And if you look under the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction, and you tailor your search to corrections officers, you will find that there are correction officers making over $200,000 a year. And the highest paid correction officer last year made over $240,000. And the money is really, really good. And basically you're being paid to be there. And my philosophy was that you live life no matter where you're at. And I'd rather be in prison supervising inmates than be out loafing around and financially struggling. I don't believe in financially struggling, and I don't financially struggle. I work in a lot of overtime. I double the size of my pension. I bought my house in cash just from working 2 years of overtime. And just to give you an idea how much overtime I worked, my personal record for overtime in 1 year was 2,400 hours. And that is more hours than my regular work schedule. And I did this without taking any time off whatsoever. I didn't take vacation or personal leave or sick leave. I worked every day. And when the inmates would ask me what I was doing, I told them I was going biblical. And what do they mean? They would ask me, what do you mean by that, biblical? And I said, I want to work 40 days and 40 nights. Because I would work 40 days in a row, 16 hours a day. But don't get me wrong, I did it for the money. I did it so I can have financial security. But anyway, what I want to do today is talk about obesity, because like I said, I had a health scare last year where I almost passed out after taking it easy and enjoying my life, eating as much as I wanted, whatever I wanted, and not exercising, and I let myself go. And specifically, what I did is I developed a fighter's mentality to overcoming obesity. I'm a former martial artist, and I'm also a former boxer. And the reason I switched to boxing was because I got tired of getting penalty points for excessive contact in Ippon Kumite, in tournament fighting in the martial arts. Because if you fight, if you compete in kumite means sparring, in a martial arts tournament, you can't blast somebody full force. You have to pull your punch. And frankly, I just got tired of that. And so I switched to boxing, where you hit somebody full blast, and, that's rewarded. That's not, you're not penalized for that. But when I faced this health dilemma, when I knew my life was in jeopardy, then I develop a fighter's mentality, just like I would develop a fighter's mentality getting into the ring against an opponent who's trying to knock you out, or knock me out at the time. And I believe that this information can help you, because I want you to know it is possible to overcome obesity. It is very possible. Other people have done it. I've done it, and I did it at the age of 66. I'm 67 now, but I overcame obesity last year. And I did it in 8 months. And this is how I did it. The first thing is you got to believe that you can. It's just like getting in the ring. If you don't believe that you can beat the opponent in the ring, you shouldn't be in the ring. You have to believe that you will win. And if you're not committed to win, you should not be in the ring. You should not be fighting. You should not be competing. And I can tell you that a lot of people who jump in the ring, they do it as a physical challenge, but they're not really trying to win. What they're trying to do is survive. Especially if they're a beginner. They get in the ring for the first few times. It may not be first few times. They might only do it once or twice and decide they don't want to do it anymore. But they're not trying to win. They're trying to survive. They just, they're in there and they're going through the motions, but they're not really trying to win. So it is essential that you believe that you can. And it's also essential that you're committed, that you will do anything and everything to win. And I don't want to admit this, but I will. And that includes cheating. And there are tricks in boxing which are illegal, but people do them anyway, like Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield was notorious for spearing people with his head. He would headbutt opponents. That's why Mike Tyson bit his ear, because Holyfield was head spearing him. And he opened up a cut to his eye, and Tyson decided to retaliate. But Holyfield had a nice little gimmick there. He would talk about being a Christian, but when he got in the ring, that guy was a dirty fighter. But there's things you could do, like something that Roberto Duran used to do is he would push, knock his opponent off balance before hitting him. And there's other techniques, like when you're in a clinch, throwing uppercuts to try to dislocate your opponent's elbow. But boxing's like that. The dirty fighting is part of the game. And you should know how to dirty fight, use dirty techniques, because if nothing else, just to learn how to protect against them. And you can't learn to protect against them if you don't know what they are. But you should do everything possible to win. But when I faced this health dilemma, when I knew my life was in jeopardy, then I developed a fighter's mentality, just like I would develop a fighter's mentality getting into the ring. And what I want you to do is to use visualization, and athletes use this as a tool, is that before they enter a contest, they'll visualize them engaged in a competition. And it's just imaginary, it's within the mind, but they're visualizing winning. They're visualizing what could happen and how they will respond to it. But what I want you to do, if you're obese, and I've been there and I've done that, and I know the problems of obesity, of having a hard time finding clothes to buy, and people talking about you, and the frustration of trying to lose weight and going through the yo-yo dieting. I know all that. But I want you to visualize that inflammation is a demon inside your body that's wreaking havoc, trying to take your soul, trying to take your life. Visualize that you're combating a demon that's trying to take everything you own and everything you will own. Because that inflammation is real. I mean, it is actually there. But you can use a mental trick, a psychological trick, that you're in combat against a demon that's endangering not only your life and your future, but the future of your family. Visualize that. And commit yourself to defeating that demon. To do whatever you have to do to win. And that goes to the next step. The next step is having a plan. As the old saying goes, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And when a boxer gets in the ring, he has a plan. He doesn't just do whatever he feels like. I mean, he's been training for 6 weeks, and he has a strategy. And you need a strategy. And here's the strategy that I used. Number one, I restricted my calories to no more than 1,800 calories a day. But the number that you should use would depend on you and what your goal is. But whatever your target weight goal is, multiply that by 10. So if you want to weigh 180 pounds, like I wanted to weigh 180 pounds, and right now, I just weighed myself today, it's 179.6 pounds is what I weigh right now. But I used to weigh 236.8 pounds. But what I did is I took 180 multiplied by 10, and that's 1,800, so I consumed no more than 1,800 calories per day. And then I increased my activity. Level. I try to stay active as much as I can to consume more calories. And every other day I would exercise, at least 45 minutes. And because the more muscle you build, the more calories your body will burn when your muscles are at rest. And your strength training method should be about muscular hypertrophy and endurance, not strength. Muscular hypertrophy, which is muscle growth, and endurance. And the reason why is because the more muscle you have, the more calories you'll burn. And the more endurance training you do, the more calories you burn. That's what you need. It's not strength training. You're not trying to get strong per se. You're trying to develop as much muscle as you can and to burn off as many calories as you can. In boxing, I'm using a boxing analogy because I'm a former boxer. But as a boxer, you're going to do two things, essentially. You're either going to attack or you're going to defend. But if you're going to attack, you attack first, you attack hard, and you put relentless pressure on your opponent to cause his defense to crumble so you can take him out. I mean, that's what boxing is about, is to win. Not to survive, but to win. But I'm a firm believer that even though a lot of people think that the best defense is a good offense, that you got to have defense too. Because your opponent might have a good attack. He might have a good offense. You might be forced by necessity to defend. And if you are going to defend, in boxing it essentially boils down to 5 different things. One is blocks. And a block can be just simple catching opponent's punches with your glove, using what they'll call a palm block. But you can pick punches off with your glove. There's also a parry, where you're redirecting a punch. Boxing, like somebody throws a jab, you can tip the jab down, and then punch from the parry. There's a slip, where you're just basically moving your head out of the way. And there's movement, like Ali used to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee, because a moving target's hard to hit. And if you don't believe that, have someone try to punch you while you move on him. The only thing is, you got to have the wind, the endurance to be able to keep that up, because that's tiring. And you can also jam. And what I mean by jam, I mean sometimes the safest place to be is on your opponent. And boxers will do that in several ways, but one way is by clenching. They'll just grab the guy's arm, especially if he's in trouble, if he took a good shot. And they'll clench, they'll jam up his opponent so the opponent can't hurt him. Well, using this boxing analogy, you can do the same thing with your battle to overcome obesity. And it's more like a war than it is a battle. So remember what I said. I mean, basically, in a boxing defense, will be about blocking, parrying, slipping, moving, or jamming, which includes clenching. But you can block. You can use this boxing analogy for dieting in your battle, which is more like a war to overcome obesity. For instance, you can drink protein shakes, and the protein will coat your stomach, which will block hunger pains. A pairing, redirecting. You can do this in your diet by eating berries, which are low calories and full of antioxidants and other phytonutrients, which will help make you stronger, make you healthier. Anytime you get a craving for sweets, strawberries, blackberries, they're excellent diet tools. Slipping is evading, it's evasion, it's basically what slipping is all about, but you can evade. Stay away from the fast food restaurants. Stay away from the food festivals. Use evasion, just like a boxer would evade punches. Moving. Just move, just be active. Life's about movement. The more you move, the more calories you burn. Even when you're just doing nothing. One of the tricks I used to do when I was obese, is when I took my dog out, I would do calf races. I would do 150 calf races while my dog went out and did his business, because it wasn't I was trying to build up my calves. That was a good thing too, but what I was really trying to do was burn calories. And every time I took my dog out, I went out and did 150 calf races. And my dog has to go out at least 5 times a day. And jamming or clenching. Eat resistant starches instead of refined starches. Resistant starches like from bananas, from cabbage, from a lot of whole grains. It's hard for your body to digest, so it will just pass through you. If it's not digested, it's not giving you calories. And another thing that you can do to jam or to clench, using this boxing analogy for dieting, is you can procrastinate. It's delay eating by 5 minutes, then stretch it to 10, to 20, 30, an hour. You can procrastinate because I'm going to tell you a secret about dieting is as you diet, your stomach size will shrink. And when it shrinks, you won't need as much food to feel full. The key things about using this boxing analogy is that I want you to know that the stronger fighter doesn't always win. And the most talented and skilled fighter doesn't always win. And there's an old saying that hustle beats talent when talent doesn't hustle. And a lot of boxing, the outcome of a boxing match will determine on the will to win. How much do you want it? And if you want it so bad that that you're not going to lose, then you stand a very, very good chance of winning, as opposed to just doing it half-heartedly. Generally, 5 responses to danger. And I'm speaking now as a former state of Ohio corrections officer who worked 35 years in state prisons. And I know about danger. I've been in prison riots. I've been in more use of force incidents than I can remember, but I know about danger. And I've been attacked by thugs in the city of Cleveland. I fought off 3 gang members one time and won. That's because I knew what I was doing. They didn't. There are 5 general responses to any perceived danger. 1 is to fight. 2 is to flee, or to run away from the perceived danger. 3 is to freeze, and that's what most people do. They freeze. They're so shocked that it's happened to them, they don't know what to do, and they're petrified. So they do nothing. 4 is to submit, and that happens a lot too. And 5 is to posture, and that's to pretend like you're doing something, but you're not. And I'm sure you've seen where people pretend like they want to fight, but actually they don't. Really what they're trying to do is to scare the other opponent, thinking that he will fight, even though he won't. So using this boxing analogy, what I'm suggesting you to do is to fight. Because running away isn't the solution, because you can't run away from that visceral fat, because wherever you run to, that visceral fat's coming with you. And so is your high blood pressure and your high blood sugar and your high triglyceride levels. and whatever chronic health conditions that you develop because of that. Freezing is not the answer, because if you do nothing, the problem is just going to compound and get worse. Submitting is not the answer, because if you do, you're going to be a casualty. You're fighting a demon inside of you. You are physically sick. You have to fight to regain your health, to regain your strength and your endurance and your muscular size. And it's not an easy fight. You have to be fully committed. And my philosophy is to overwhelm my opponent. I'll throw so much at them that they can't defend. I'll overload their defenses. I'll break through their defenses. I'm taking that guy out. But that's why I own so much gym equipment. I have 4 home gyms, a garage gym, a basement gym, a backyard patio gym, and an extension room gym. And I don't need all that equipment, but you know what? I got equipment that you can't even imagine I have. I have it in my closets. I go in my living room, I pull out my closets, I pull out gym equipment. In my bedroom, I even have exercise equipment in my bathroom, because that's how committed I am, is that no matter where I go, I can pick up something and start exercising with it. And you know what? People might think that that's a little crazy, and that's just a waste of money, but you know what? It worked. I overcame my obesity. I lost. Since, I lost 54 pounds in 8 months, but overall I've lost over 57 pounds. And the last few pounds are the hardest. Anyone who's ever died will tell you that. The last few pounds are the hardest to get off. And remember, you're fighting for your future, and you're fighting for your family. You're fighting an opponent who's trying to take your life and take everything you own and everything you will ever own. And I don't know what you will do to protect your family and to protect your life, but I'll do whatever's necessary. And I don't care what anybody says, because what matters is winning, surviving, because nothing else matters if you're dead. Okay, guys, I went off on a little tangent there, but that's how I feel about it. I want you to know, I have 3 college degrees, and I might sound cerebral at times, but before I was a scholar, I was a fighter. I'm Japanese American. I've been fighting all my life. There's people who like to pick on people who are different from them. And I had people try me when I was young, and I've been fighting all my life. I'm not going to tolerate anyone trying to hurt me. That's out of the question. If they try to hurt me, I'm going to hurt them. That's just my perspective. I don't want to sound like I'm a thug, because I'm not a thug. But at the same token, I'm not a victim either. I want you to know I don't get paid a cent by anyone for creating these YouTube videos. And it's actually cost me many thousands of dollars to create the videos I posted. But I do this because I'm trying to help others. I'm an old man. I'm 67 years and 8 months old. And I probably have another 7 years or so to live. And when I meet my maker, when he asks me, what did I do with my life? I want to tell him, honestly, that I did my best to try to help others. And I didn't waste my life on my own selfish pursuits. So even if just one person listens to me and regains his health and extends his or her lifespan and overcomes obesity, then the thousands of dollars I spent, the effort and the time I did to make these videos will be worth it to me.